in this video I'm going to take you through how I put together the hologram terrain that I've been working on the last couple of weeks. I've been asked by quite a few people to do this, so hopefully you'll get a lot of insight into it. It's not difficult, so enjoy.
So I just thought I'd take a minute to actually go through the main piece of the hologram terrain that I've been working on, and it is one of these. Now I sort of repacked everything in the box so we can do a bit of an unboxing, but not. But as you can tell from the outside, this has been marketed as a Christmas decoration type product. One thing I'll point out as well is that the camera zooms in is the Mini 11 on the side. That's the model number. So I didn't spot this when I first opened it, and then spent about half an hour trying the different types of fans to get a video to work. So it's always worth checking the box. But moving on. So inside, you literally get everything you need to make this work. You get the remote control, volume on, volume off. Skip the tracks. You can angle, or rather change the angle of the images if it's not quite flat. Repeat single images, pause them, so you can pause it on a particular part of the video or image, and then brightness up or down. It's worth saying that there isn't an on or off on this, so as soon as you plug it in, it starts going. Next is instructions. It tells you roughly what to do with the software. Type-C USB cable, a nice long one as well. You get the standard that comes in, so when it is actually in the box, it is inside this. These are the legs, that's the cylinder it is in, the USB ran through the bottom. There's just two black screws actually screwed into the back of it that hold the fan in place, which look like this. Oops. So easy peasy to take out. And then lastly, you get a micro USB adapter and a micro USB card. Mine's 8 gig. I'm not sure if this will vary between box to box, but this also has the software on that turns everything into bin files, so you can upload your own videos. When you know what the model number is, it takes about 20 seconds of video to process, so you can upload MP4s, convert your JPEGs and whatnot. So I've been busy screwing away, making my own videos, and so hopefully we'll see a few of those later on. But that was a brief part of the accessories. And then the main thing that comes in is this. So this is the hologram fan itself. You can see the micro USB. Come on, camera. There we go. Micro USB. And a couple of screw holes in the back. It's about 90mm from either side, so 100mm radius, I believe, covers it nicely if you want to put the guard on. And that's the infrared on the front. And it's very lightweight. It's a very good advanced piece of kit really for the size that it is. You can get the bigger ones which are got Bluetooth and obviously more of the coloured lights on them, but for modelling purposes I think this one is really good. I paid about £20 for this, including tax and shipping, and it's really come down in price since I saw them quite a while ago. But yeah, this is the main little bit of it. Very, very impressed. So now, on to building the actual piece it's going to sit in. Okay, so my current plan is to house it in a build like this. So nothing particularly spectacular with either side. This will just give it a bit more stability and won't have the fan sat in front of the object. It'll be more sat flush with these, so there is a little bit of clearance but not much. I've just done this all by eye, by the way. I haven't measured anything out. Nothing, like I say, spectacular with these. Just flip the tops and glue them together, so we've got now two fixed columns. So I'll move those out of the way. Most of the chopping and cutting is on these two pieces here. So I want to mount this flat, so we've got the USB port at the bottom like so. You can see the lighter coloured plastic. If I move that up, there we go, is where I've taken all the bits off so it will sit flat. Just quickly done with a knife. It's not be too neat as it'll be painted over and covered up by the fan itself. And also you can notice there's two drill holes in it, just at either side, and that's the same width as the hole at the back. Just put a piece of masking tape on the back of this, pop two little holes in the masking tape in line with that, and then placed it on here. So they're the same distance apart. So that's the fan fixed on. the USB cable itself is going to run down, so in the front. So if you can see here in this part of the foot, I've just cut out a little U shape, so that sits perfectly around the fatter part of the cable, and then at the same point directly below in the top in this piece, this is a 5mm hole. So it's 5mm, roughly 5mm. Use a 5mm drill bit to do it. It did come out a bit of a weird shape. If you just pop the lid off, run the wire in, try to do it this way, like this. So again, that will sit perfectly in there, so it's nice and flat. So when everything is fitted together, it will sit exactly where you want it. It's not glued together yet because I do want to paint this first without having this on, although I will be doing some bits to the body itself. But this will all now quite happily and flushly sit together on here. It does stick a little bit above, as you can see from here, but I've got an idea for that. I just need to get some more bits. But this is basically it, and obviously the two columns. Like I said, the two columns, when they're in line, give it a bit of depth. So it's not fully sat out front, if you can see that. So it's not just like sat there. The columns do bring it more in line. Come on, camera. There we go, like so. So it's a bit more contained rather than just being stuck out in the open. And also the columns give us a mounting point for the ring that we need on the outside, just to stop it getting knocked and caught. But that was really it. I mean, to do all this, it took maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And if you've got the right pieces, obviously with something this small you can mount it and put it wherever you want. I am tempted to get a second one of these because I've had another idea, but we'll have to see. But now I will crack on with getting this basic outline undercoated, and from there really it's just detailing it out and adding pipes, wires, cables, that kind of thing. So bear with me and I'll come back and I'll show you what I've done. There is just one thing to add extra onto this, is that I also use the 5mm drill bit just to put a hole in the bottom so it will run and sit flat. Put a bit of piping over that to cover it up. This cable, I'm not sure where it's going to go. I think it'll work off a power supply, so you could just, like a battery pack, sorry. So you could hide it under another piece of terrain, turn that into a piece of terrain itself with a cover of it, a pile of crates for example, or you could just have it running, if you've got this on the edge of the board, just running off the table to a power plug into the wall. But really that's it. Again, didn't add on any more time. To do all the changes that I mentioned took literally 5-10 minutes. Hello, right, I'm back. It's been a couple of weeks and I have been busy working on this, and I'm very, very happy to say it's finally finished. It really has been one of my favourite things I've worked on in quite a while. As you'll see, the basic shape is exactly the same as I wanted it. I've just detailed it out and added a couple of little extras. So for that, just some green stuff cables, just to help bring in like a mechanical feel to it. A magnetic cap, just to be able to attach pipes and things. I switched out the top caps for the ones that come in the walkway stairs set, and just purely be able to add extra stairs and things to it. On the back, just to help fill the void in, I've got the nice downpipe and a couple of cables there. You notice that the sides are relatively clean, just to be able to make it quite an adaptable piece, so you can line columns up in different ways and add different things on it and nothing's going to get in the way for you. There's been two sort of improvements and changes really in the build for this. So the first is the power supply. So as mentioned in the previous video, the hole here is for like a USB cable to run out to an external power source, which you can still do. I've got a 5 meter USB cable which I can then plug directly to the wall. But whilst I was raking through my stuff, I realised I had this. This is a USB battery. I have no idea what milliampage it is, but it's about the same size as a packet of Polos, and it fits perfectly into here. So what I've done, if you can see that, is I've just cut out the top section of that so it can slide its way in, and to be able to connect it, I've just gouged out a bit of a gap in the bottom. Can't see it, so it doesn't need to be particularly neat, but it just now makes the whole thing self-contained. This will run it for about 2 hours, and it's good for so shorter sessions. Anything longer, you probably want to plug into the wall. So the last piece of the build I'm going to mention is the addition of a guard for the arm. So obviously, if it's spinning during play, there's a chance it's going to get knocked or caught, potentially damage a model or damage the arm itself. So I've come up with this. So this is a 3D printed ring, and I'll post a link to it in the file. It's just attached on by 2 little pieces of plastic card tube, just at 10 past and 10 to the hour on those rivets. It's 140mm diameter, and it fits just snugly over. The downside to this is I think that it changes the silhouette of the build quite a bit. It works perfectly, but it kind of takes away some of the magic. You know that the image is going to be in that area, and it frames it, so it feels more like a screen rather than a hologram. But for safety's sakes, it's there. It's removable, so you don't have to, or have to build it in at all. For me, so I've not fixed it on, so I can take it in and off depending on what I'm feeling. But build wise, that's this piece done.
So there is just one little quirk that I've discovered that I thought I'd mention as well, is that the fan itself seems to regulate its speed. I don't know whether it's in regard to like it's getting too hot, or it's just trying to save power, or something along those lines, but as you'll hear in this video, the fan speed seems to go up and then down. It can affect the picture quality a little bit, especially when it drops to really low revs, but it's generally not that noticeable. But I just thought I'd mention it. Well, that's it from me for this particular video. I hope you find it useful and have as much fun in making yours as I have in this one. Please give the rest of my channel a look over, and if you really like what you see, give it a subscribe, and hopefully I will see you next time.